Hello everyone, I'll be speaking about distribution and determinants of animal invasive species. In 1958, Charles Shelton had published the first systematic study on biological invasion, which is known as the ecology of invasions by animals and plants. Invasive alien species are defined as species introduced via anthropogenic factors outside of their natural geographic range, and they are capable of sustaining a self-replacing population. Invasive species are also a major leading threat to biodiversity, which is second only to habitat loss. US alone is facing 125 US billion dollars loss per year. In New Zealand, water eradication has been done by Pacific rat. American bullfrog acts as a vector of Batrachochytridium dendrobatitis, which causes a fungal disease called chytridiomycosis. Impacts by invasive species can be categorized into environmental and socioeconomic. In my study, I aim to know the distribution of invasive species and how which factors are responsible for uh, biological invasion. Coming to methods, my study is at global scale, so it covers almost all continents and countries. So I'm using data, different types of data, species data, environmental data, and socioeconomic data for my studies. Species data contains species list and species occurrence data, which has been collected from open source databases like GISD, CAPI, GBIF, and literatures. Environmental data from DYGIS and WWF. Similarly, socioeconomic data, I referred CDAC, World Bank data, and FAO. Coming to results, so across continents, invasive species have been introduced from different continents to different continents. So Asia and North America, the thicker the line is, most number of invasive species have been introduced. Across countries, here the skewed map shows the invasive species density for each country. So European countries and most of the islands have higher density than the other parts of the world. In biomes, temperate broadleaf and mixed forest and Mediterranean forest and woodlands and scrub. So these are the two biomes which has more number of animal invasive species. However, coming in case of vertebrates, most vertebrates are in tropical and subtropical moist broadleaf forest. Similarly, in realms, palearctic being the realms with highest number of invasive species. So, due to invasive species, homogenization occurs. Here we can see different invasive species from different realms like Nearctic, Neotropic, Palearctic are clumped together. That means they are found in same country or similar countries are we can find some different invasive species from different realms. So the color represents the different groups. Similarly, structural equation modeling shows how invasive species is or number of invasive species is related to different socioeconomic factors such as transport, export, import, trade, HCI, that is human capital index, number of threatened species, population, agricultural land, etc. So we see most of the anthropogenic factors are related to number of invasive species. We did GLM analysis to find out the most responsible factors. So container ship, rail route, rail passengers, trade, and human capital index are highly correlated with number of invasive species for each country. With biodiversity data, we got highly correlated from invasive species with respect to threatened species for each country. That means a country which have more number of invasive species are likely to have more number of threatened species as well. Concluding my study, so developed countries are having more invasive species than the developing countries. We need better documentation about species distribution data for developing countries for a better pattern. Similarly, temperate regions have more invasive species than tropical, and invasive species are region of more threatened species. Anthropogenic factors facilitates invasive species. I thank my guide Dr. Arvind and team, ATRI, Mahe, Karnataka, and funding agency DST, SDSN, and my friends. Thank you.